YouTube channel. Today we have an episode that thought I would never ever make. In my wildest dreams did I ever think that this video would be made. If you follow me on Facebook or Instagram, I'm sure you've probably seen the story. Today was April 29th, so exactly a week ago today, I was scrolling through Facebook at 1 a.m. I went on Mini Truck Evolution. Well, it just popped up. One of the pictures, like the third thing I saw, was a picture that Dustin Haven had posted. It was one of the last pics I ever took of my first mini truck before I sold it. It was sitting in my grandparents' field. It was kind of mowed around, but there was grass almost as tall as the truck, just right around the perimeter of it. It was in sad shape. I'd moved on to Mazdas, and actually that one right there is one of the main reasons that it got kicked out of the garage, and then eventually to my grandparents' house, and then eventually I sold it. I bought it as a teenager in the early 90s. I owned it for 18 years, and I let it go. I sold it in 2008 and instantly regretted it, like a lot of people do when you sell your first vehicle. Well, it wasn't my first vehicle. It actually had a 71 Chevelle as my first car, because it was actually one that I could afford. I actually couldn't afford a mini truck for my first vehicle. And then I had a 70s Toyota Corona that I put some rims on and lowered, and the Chevelle I got in 88. In 89 I got the Corona, and then I got a badass muscle car in 1990. But it was also 1990 that the mini truck thing was getting so big, and I'd wanted a mini truck for a long time. My first mini truck that I ever saw was in 1985. I was in junior high. My neighbor had this badass 620. It had flames, chop top, louvers, tilt bed, frames all painted. And I just thought the thing was amazing. And I started getting Truckin' Magazine. Then a couple years later, he had a extra cab Mazda, which started my fascination with Mazdas. And this thing, he had graphics along the bottom. He was a custom painter. His name's John Byers. He actually owns a custom shop not too far from where I'm standing right now. Builds beautiful hot rods now, but he was a mini trucker back in the day, and he's what got me into it. So anyway, I was a metalhead. I didn't really, the mini truckers seemed to be more into rap. So so my first car, it was cheap. I got that. It fit me more at the time, but I really have a secret fascination with mini trucks. I started getting mini trucking as soon as it came out in 1988, and by 1990 I had my badass muscle car. I was taking it to cruise-ins, and I was having a good time. But the summer of 90, a friend of mine who was another guy into metal, he wasn't in a club or anything like that, and he had this Toyota that was just perfect. I had a snug top shell on it. The window, he worked at a popular stereo shop at the time, Mobile Audio, and across his whole back window was that. And I just loved riding around in this truck. All summer we cruised around in it. Barely took my car anywhere if we were going to do something together, and it was just, that was it. It finally, it festered long enough, and I had to start looking for a mini truck. And it took me a few months, because while they were a cheaper vehicle, the ones I wanted, I really wanted an extra cab Mazda. My neighbors, it was 1987 when he had it, and it was unbelievable. I loved it. So I was really looking for an extra cab Mazda, or Cab Plus, sorry. But they were still kind of expensive. the second choice was a regular cab hard body, because I had borrowed a hard body quite a bit in like 89 and 90. Drove it around a lot, and I really liked those. I didn't like the extra cabs back then quite as much, because the extra cab window, the way it kind of goes over the top of the body, I didn't really like that. But I'm searching and searching, and there was the Nissans, Mazdas, and then the Toyotas, all like the late 80s, early 90s body styles. And I didn't really want a Mitsubishi or an Isuzu, because I didn't see them in mini trucking as much, and they didn't seem to have as many parts. And it was just mostly because I didn't really see them as much, so I didn't know what you could do. But anyway, after searching through Auto Trader, months, a white Isuzu, bone stock, 13,000 miles, popped up, South Hill, Puyallup, Washington. It had an aluminum gem top type canopy on it, and back then that didn't fly, but that's what was on it. But they only want $3,500 for it. Low miles, clean. I thought the body line was pretty cool in it, so I did it. Well, all right, enough with the past. We'll get back to that in a few. We're gonna start walking over here. So, like I said, scrolling through Facebook, 1 a.m. You gotta be kidding me. Every time I start to record, a bus goes by, a plane goes overhead. It's getting really annoying. Anyway, and I don't even live on a busy street, except for when school gets out. So, 1 a.m. Dustin Haven posts the picture. I scroll down to see somebody post a current picture of my old truck. And I'm like, what the hell? It's still out there? I was in shock for a minute, and there I am, like, staring at a current picture of my old Isuzu, and it really hadn't changed any. And it's local. This guy Carlos had actually bought it from the guy that I sold it to, and has had it ever since. Started talking to him, of course. He invited me to come over to take a look at it, and I gotta admit, I was a little nervous because when you're searching for something and then you see it, you immediately want it back, and the wheels start turning. Like, how do I get this thing back? Like, what am I gonna do? Things that are going on right now in our life, it just wasn't really in the cards to buy another mini truck. But still trying to figure it out. But in the meantime, I figure, I'll go over and look at it. It'll be hard to just go look at it and, not be able to take it home, but I still wanted to see it. Guy seemed real cool. So made arrangements next day, which was the day before my 49th birthday. I go over to his house. There it is. She's just sitting there. So we start talking. I'm sharing tons of stories with it. And I'd shared some when we had talked on the phone the day before. Shared just a few of the random stories with it, and he shared some that he had with it. He had actually driven it around a few times, and his kids enjoyed it. But after we talked for a while, obviously, you know, sooner or later I'm going to have to ask, like, what is it going to take? How am I going to get the truck back? And he just looked at me and he was like, you know, just take it. Happy birthday. And I mean, I was absolutely blown away. Like, I just could not believe it. Like, it's weird because, you know, you search so long, you don't even think it's out there. I was too scared to ever look up the VIN number because I figured that I was going to see that it was crushed, or, you know, or the other fears that, you know, the shell had come off of it and new wheels and new paint, you know. So that either way, you know, my truck would kind of be gone. You know, I would like the latter scenario where it was redone. I'd still try to get it, but it's so much sweeter when it's basically like it never left. Like, I mean, he did a couple things. He replaced the door panels and dash. I had done a bad job of tweeting them many years ago. He had changed the hydraulic pumps and put a new switch panel in it, but the exterior untouched. And on top of that, he saved all the things he took off and also kept all of the stuff that came with it. So, like, it didn't have the caps. I took the caps off the wheels like 20 some years ago. I didn't like the way they looked, and I just pulled them off, never put them back on. But he still got those. I even still have a bunch of parts from when it was being body dropped that were taken off that I had found in a tote not too long ago. So almost everything that the truck ever had still there, which is incredible, especially since it was kind of a project. I mean, it ran, but you know, it had gotten body dropped in like late 99, early 2000, something like that, and I never really put it back together. I started working on other stuff. Like, I did a crappy job on fabricating the hydros and stuff, you know, and I had gotten better, so a lot of that, you know, newfound knowledge went on the Mazdas, and this just kind of got put out to pasture. And, you know, one of those things, I'll eventually get back to it. So the fact that, you know, like we talked, and it, you know, it was just like, you know, another meant to be situation where it just, there's a reason it just kind of stayed this way. I mean, the guy says he never really posts on Facebook and just saw the picture and thought it was kind of funny and it looked like his truck, which it indeed was. So for basically the day before my birthday, he tells me I can have it back. In less than 24 hours, I'm back at his house with my buddies in negative behavior. We had Riley, Cole, Jason, and Ryan. They all came out. They went and they put a winch on their trailer because mine's not really ready to go right now. And they were down there for me. We got this thing loaded, and yeah, it's amazing. Carlos and his wife and his family, I got to meet his parents, one of their daughters, just incredible people. I guess they had talked like the very first night, you know, after they heard some of the stories and stuff, and decided right then that they were just going to give it back. That's just too amazing of a gesture. So especially when you listen to the podcast, I'm going to repay him. Like, it's just, you know, that's just a gesture that I can't not repay, you know. So I'm actually looking forward to that. So stay tuned for that part of this story, because this story has a long way to go. But I mean, enough talking. I mean, there it is. Like, it's right there. Like, Look at it. I bought that over 30 years ago. The stories I can tell you, twice people tried to carjack me at gunpoint for it. Didn't let them have it. They've tried to steal it from a condominium I was living in. The stereo's completely been ripped out of it and stolen twice. It's been totaled. That's why the white on the bed doesn't match. It was about 95. Rear-ended, totaled somehow. I had hydros on it, so I actually had the front kind of down and the back up, so it just took out just underneath the canopy. Didn't hurt the canopy at all. My boys were all born in the span of owning it, and they all got to ride in it. The daughters have never seen it, so that's going to be kind of fun for them now they get to have their time with it. All right, so let's flip you around and kind of just go over where it's at in life. The body's not too bad. That's this little guy right here. That was a shopping cart. I was sitting in it at a grocery store, and a cart started rolling towards it. I tried to get out, but it came off the curb and right into the fender. So, one of the early goddammits. So this area, it's just surface. That's new from that hadn't started. And that's like the only thing that really went downhill, but that'll be an easy fix. A couple little dings here and there. The back of the cab, this is where, when I was rear-ended, it hit the back of the cab. And you can even see over on this side, the canopy actually hit right there, and not a single mark on the canopy. So Lear, while this was probably the most expensive canopy on the market when I got it, it holds up to Rex. These primes here, I got those in 97 when 17s were huge. The chrome front end, it came with the white and grill and the black bumper. I put that on at the Graham Fitz Auto Wrecking back when that was there. I did it right in the parking lot. I couldn't wait to get home. The fender trim, that was one of the very early cool mods I did to it. And of course the rocker panels. And then it's always had hydros. Air wasn't really a thing when I started this, And I did the hydros went on in 94, 95, something like that. Oh, there's you put a decent interior in there. There's a couple blue pieces in there still from back in the day. I had Prelude seats in it. These are actually Isuzu seats that bolt in much nicer. Don't have to have the brackets, so I actually appreciate that. Don't know why I never did that, but back in the 90s, Prelude was the way to go. But yeah, it needs to be straightened up. So I get asked a ton lately, what am I going to do to it? Well, not a whole lot. It's 10 shades of white, and I'm going to fix that. Fix the little dings and dents. But yeah, I'm going to repaint it white. That's obviously a new bed that I had to put on after the accident, and thanks Isuzu for changing the shade after just a couple years. The canopy is kind of in between the two whites. So, you know, whatever. So I bought a Cal combo for this thing 20 years ago or so. It even has altered images written on the back. I think I ordered it from Grant, but it must have been like still towards the end of altered. But I did get a giant altered images sticker with it, so it must have still been going. So I got the Cal combo because. So when I bought this bed, this bed was perfect. Like, the tailgate was perfect. So I park it at my grandparents'. I love you, Grandma, but the tailgate was perfect when I parked there. I know it was, and yeah. So this guy right here, I believe, was a riding lawnmower. Now, you can see that it is quite smacked up. Now that, when I sold it, I had to push it up a hill, so I just took my F-250 and threw a tire between it and the tailgate because I didn't care. It has a Cal combo, so whatever. So just pushed it up a hill by it. It just wasn't meant to have a tailgate. I'm going to show you some pictures, and you'll see that the first tailgate didn't factor well. But here, I go over here. Right there. That's the exact one that I bought 20 some years ago. He still had it. All right. So anyway, let's get back to the plans. Cal combo, repaint it white. Interior, probably just leave it like it is for now. The main thing with it, like I said, the suspension in the rear is awful. I did a shitty notch. It's mono-leafed, and obviously hydraulic doesn't ride the best. So I will redo that. That'll be the major redo on it. It's just not. It's not safe. It's not. You've got to be kidding me. It's been silent most of the day. Now the neighbor decides to mow their lawn. We're just gonna do this anyway. Whatever. Anyway, thought we'd go down memory lane for a minute here. I've got a stack of some of the pictures. I have hundreds of pictures of this thing. Unfortunately, when I got it, I didn't take very many pictures, like when it was stock, or when it was just even lowered on stock wheels, or even when I put its first set of wheels on it. Plus, 90, 91, 92. We just weren't taking a ton of pictures of things. So I do have some older pictures that I'll have to dig up, but the first picture I have here is 1993. I just put the canopy on it. No rocker panels yet, but these were the first set of cool rims that I put on it. So there she is. That's how I was rolling in 93. Shortly after that, got the rocker panels on there. Hell yeah. Now look at that tailgate. And you can see the original tailgate. I bought the damn thing with a dent in it. So this truck doesn't like tailgates, so I'm finally going to remedy that and put the combo on. I was even at the junkyard today, and there was a white tailgate, and I was in pretty decent shape, and I was like, nope, I bought that Cal combo for a reason. Another shot of it. Chrome gas door, of course. Now here's one of my favorite times of the truck. Man, these hammers, when I put those on, I just absolutely, I was king shit. Let's just face it. That's don't get any better than that. Of course, another shot of the dented tailgate, but Slayer there in the corner, of course, you know. Hammers, you know, whatever. Now, I could have edited this all in and done cool flips, but I didn't feel like scanning all these pictures, you know. Now here, this was gangster, right there. That was the wire wheel phase. That man, look at that. With gold knockoffs. And, oh, look at that. I mean, would you look at it? 1997. I was in a off-road shop, and they had a set of 17-inch wheels for really cheap for the time. I think I paid $255 for all four. And in 97 for 17s, even primes. I feel like that was a good deal. Another shot with one of my old Mazdas. Now the hydros went on, like I said, like 94, 95, but there it is with the 17s. You know, gangster again, man. I mean, look at her. Just before the body drop, a couple years. Interior stuff. This is the, notice that stone paint on there. Got the white steering wheel. Kind of wish I had that one still. I'm not sure what I did with it, but I was kind of changing the interior over. You know, the black wheel was a little more classy. As you can see here, I started putting patterns in the tweed. Tweeted the dash. First dash I ever tweeted. Not that great. Got the door panels all tweeted. Yeah, skip that. Here's center console that I did. So when I body dropped it, no more room for the stereo, so I did this weird armrest pull-out thing. And he still has that at his house. Here's the first center console I did. I really got into this pattern stuff. It was cool at the time. So my oldest boy is the one that really got to be in the most pics of it, because it was kind of coming towards the end of me really doing a lot to it when my other boys were born. But this is about 5 months after my son was born. It's right on the back of the picture in August of 1994. That's my boy. He's 28 now, by the way. There's another shot in it of him with it after his body dropped. He's about 6 there. And he's definitely giving it the thumbs up there. Now here is the beginning of the body drop. And son of a bitch. I'll be right back. Alright. Got all these pictures out. Had it all set up for a great presentation. And then I put away some of the pictures of the body drop. Anyway. So, prior to the body drop, I started the quest of wanting to get lower. So that is the first step notch that I ever did, getting prepared. There is the setup that I did on it. Nothing fancy, but you know, I didn't know what I was doing, so there it is. So here is my buddy Dan loading it up to take it to go get body dropped. Or that's the day I came back. I don't know. So the body drop. I'd done the hydros on it. At the time, I wasn't 100% comfortable with doing a body drop. And I was in a club with Chris Billy Bob Mole. A lot of you guys know who he is. Famous Mazda on the cover of Mini Truckin' back in the day. But I took it all the way down to Cosmopolis. He lived in Aberdeen. The next town is Cosmopolis. He worked at a 4x4 shop, and he started body dropping the truck for me. And here's the floor being cut. Picture of now how low it would sit. Very exciting day indeed. I was super excited by how low it's at. So when I went down on this visit, the cab was done, but obviously not the bed. But the funny thing about this is, with it all stripped out, seeing all the cuts, I was like, it doesn't look that bad. So I actually went home. My buddy Aaron and I body dropped his truck and had it done before mine was done. But, you know, cool story that the world famous Chris Billy Bob Mole is the one who body dropped this truck. Now here's a fun thing. So I bought drop spindles for it and had them for probably 5 years or so. Like I bought them like early mid 90s, something like that, and I finally put them on just before I took it down to get a body dropped. And well, there was a problem. It didn't camber enough anymore, and the fender, that's as good as the fender got. So I immediately had to take those off so that it would camber enough and lay out. Let's see. So, pick after got it back. I am gonna I thought it was before this, but it must have been after. I tried to shave the door handle on that door, and at the time I did not have a gas MIG welder, and I tried to do it with a flux core, and I think you can know what happened there. That involved me knocking the door off of the stands that I was using, throwing it down the driveway, kicking it, and stabbing it. Yep, that is a true story. But that also ruined the rocker panels. Now I had a door. I didn't have one, so then I just started peeling them off because I'm like going into this transition of being a more modern truck. But now I want to forever keep this truck in that transition, so now I want rocker panels back on it, so I'm gonna have to search for those, because I kind of I like the rocker panels on it. I'm old. I love that era. I kind of want it. I like it being body drop with rock. I just like it being all over the place. There's how she sat for a while before she ended up in the field. And I'll show that picture right over here or somewhere like that of, I'll try to show the picture of it in the field. Maybe it'll be right now or at the end. I don't know. Let's see. I I don't have all the club logos it ever had on it, but I do have some. Low Precision was the first club I ever joined with it, but I don't have a picture of that logo. I don't know why. But the first club that I ever tried to start was this one. So you got your Meninista Society, and then after that, I was also in Zero Ground Clearance with it, and I don't have a picture of that logo, but I don't think I ever had one on the back window. I think I had it on the windshield. I swear we're not in a flight pattern, but there have been 15 jets, 27 people mowing their lawn, 300 school buses go by since I started this. Act 1, started a chapter of Act 1, and stay metal, my friends, Sepultura. Yeah. And then I joined, Billy Bob started a club called Ground Crew. And of course, after he body dropped the truck, I became a member of that. And leaving Ground Crew, there it is. The beginning of Outcast Customs, a club me and my buddy started here in the Northwest. Which there was 2 Outcast Customs trucks at Mini Nats. So, if you're watching this in the future, that is 2022 that we're in right now. And I must say, if you listen to the podcast, you know how bummed out I am every year that we don't go to Mini Nats. Thank God I didn't go to Mini Nats this year, because Friday of Mini Nats, I discovered my truck. Saturday, I got to see it. Sunday on my birthday, it came home. So, you know what? Hope you had fun at Mini Nats. I'm so glad I stayed home, because she's back. I'm super excited to just get this thing going. It started to have car problems for him, and that's kind of why I got parked. I like to shut off the lawnmower so that we can hear the plane. But yeah, we'll do this on YouTube, but it's going to take a backseat for just a minute. I'm just going to enjoy having it back in my possession, do a couple little things here and there, but I've got something else I got to do first. So, but I have got to say thank you to Carlos and his family. This has been an incredible story, to just give me back a truck that I've been searching for. It means a great deal to me. Some people, they can sell their vehicles and it's not a big deal. Like I said, this wasn't my first car, but it was my first mini truck, and it started this over 30-year adventure doing, here I am, over 30 years later, still doing this mini truck thing, even more so than before, the podcast and this, and as you know, I have several mini trucks, and it just hasn't died at all. I don't have a passion for any other kind of vehicle. I don't want anything else. I love mini trucks, and to have my first one back, sounds weird, but it kind of makes the whole mini truck life that I've had complete again. It is never going to be for sale. The canopy is not for sale. The fender trim is not for sale. There's not a single part on it that is for sale ever. You can ask, and you'll get the finger. That's how that goes. But yeah, this has been an amazing journey, and it's just hard to believe that all these years later, like, the greatest moment of the whole mini truck thing that I've been doing, happened on my 49th birthday. Like it just gets better and better. Like, someday I'm going to get to cruise this thing again, and that is just absolutely unreal. If you're out there looking for your old ride, it's easy to give up, but hey, it could be out there. I did not think I would ever see this truck again, let alone it be mine in the same condition. It blows my mind. Like, I still haven't wrapped around my head how many fucking planes are flying over. It's unreal. It's almost as unreal as getting this truck back. I mean, they're lining up. It's they're like doing laps around my house. Like, I honestly feel like I don't hear airplanes fly over very much, and it's like they changed the pattern. Well, thanks for watching. You know, maybe I'll do a quick run around of the truck, or maybe the video's over. I don't know, but the audio is probably absolutely shit. I apologize for that, but I'm not redoing it. You know, I'll try to throw some music in here to you know, drown out some of that. But yeah, thank you for watching. Never give up on your dreams. Okay. So we are on the start of an adventure that I thought that I would never get to do. Got my lovely co-host over here and the dog. But we are on our way to go get an old friend. Who's that old friend?
Your Isuzu.
My Isuzu. My very first Mini was found less than 48 hours ago, and I am heading to go pick it up and take it home. That is kind of crazy. So, here it is. Right here. Well, we're not there yet. We're on our way. We're like 5 minutes away, but I got to put in the directions, so bye for now.
Oh, very exciting. It's a very exciting moment.
It's up. Part of it's up.
Did it back then?
Yeah.
But yeah, the hydros have to stay. Like,
Yeah.
that's what this truck was meant for.
Oh.
Hey, grab that thing and bring it out so she can get you on video.
Are you actually filming?
Yes. Pull it
Oh, yeah.
out.
Bring
You're gonna
Pull it
say
out
that.
and play with your toys. Bounce it right off the bricks.
You're gonna say that, but then when I have all of the video,
The back likes it.
Ooh, low on fluid, I think.
Fluid.
Ooh, running out of fluid.
Bring that ass up.
God, that tire hasn't seen daylight in forever.
Well, it's in neutral, so you know, looks like it's gonna take a little persuasion.
Yeah.
If it didn't go anywhere while
Yeah,
you
it
guys were
didn't go
hitting the
anywhere.
switches.
Before we came over, it's like, this could be like trying to get back with an old girlfriend. You know, like, I dumped her a long time ago, but now we're gonna try, but she's gonna have a lot of resistance coming back.
She'll fight
So-
you for a little bit.
Yeah, so I figured there's gonna be a fight, but we get home,
Then she'll
we
give
make
in.
up, it'll be all right.
Well, you guys got him off the bricks and got her up.
So maybe she's not gonna fight as much, because I've got two guys
She moved.
coming, so 4 of us.
I mean,
Got a little bit of a slope here.
Yep.
a lot of times all a lady wants is a nice dinner and to be told she's pretty.
It
A
sounds
little
like she
wine
needs
and
a
dine.
drink. She needs the old hydraulic fluid. Did you put hydraulic fluid or transmission?
No, I put some other.
Take that battery out of there too.
Is it locked?